In this video, we're going to look at time and average speed. So the first thing we're going to look at is time and calculating time. Now, what is time? Time is a measurement of a period or instant in which something happens in the past, present, or future. So time is just the period or an instant something happens. Now, when dealing with time, you traditionally know about the 12-hour clock, which goes from midnight to noon, or what we call midday. And when you're going from midnight to midday, we usually record those times in AM. And AM means ante-meridiem, meridian means midday. So ante means everything before midday, so that's midnight to noon. And then you have from noon to midnight, which we state our time in PM, which is post-meridian, which is after midday. Now, everybody knows about the 12-hour clock, but there was a development of the 24-hour clock, and with the 24-hour clock, we use numbers from 0 to 24. With the 12-hour clock, we use numbers from 1 to 12. Now, with the 24-hour clock, again, we have it divided into two parts. You have midnight to noon, and from midnight to noon, that means midnight to midday. We go from 0 to 12, or we use numbers from 0 to 12. So midnight is 100 hours, and then in the midday it's 1200 hours. And then from noon to midnight we use numbers from 13 to 24. So after 12 we start counting 13, 14, 15, 16 until we reach the 24. So that one point where the 12 is on the clock, it's either 00, which is midnight, or it's 2400 hours, which is the end of a day. So I'm going to put two clocks on the board, one the 12-hour clock and the other one the 24-hour clock, to further explain this. On the board here you have two clocks. The first one is a 12-hour clock and the second one is a 24-hour clock. Now if you look at this one here, and you have the short hand at 5 and the long hand at 2. If we were looking at the time in the morning, this would be 05:10 a.m. That's in the morning if we were to take this time as the morning. But if we were to take this time as in the afternoon, then we would have written it as 05:10 p.m. Now, as you notice, it's just AM and PM that's going to say, okay, AM is morning and PM is in the afternoon. Now with the 24-hour clock, we have our short hand at 2 and we have our long hand at 5. But before we go to the hands, if you notice, we're numbered from 1 to 12, and then we start 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 on the outside, and a /00. So the day starts at midnight at 0000 hours, and then it goes on to 1, 2, 3, and so on. And then it comes to 12 midday, and then when it goes to 1, we start count on the outside, which is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, going to 24. Now, if we were to take this time in the morning, this is going to be 02, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So this is going to be 02, 25 hours. This is in the morning. But if we were to take this time in the afternoon, then it becomes, now it's after 12. So this becomes 13, 14. So it's now 14, 25 hours. So with the 12-hour clock, it's just AM, PM that say, okay, this is morning, this is afternoon. But when you're looking at the 24-hour clock, based on the number that you see here, so 02, 25 hours is going to mean morning, and anything from 13 onwards to 24 means that it's going to be in the second half of the day, which is after midday going on to the night. Now, in calculating time, the formula we're going to use is that the difference in time is equals to the actual time of arrival subtract the actual time of departure. I'm going to use this formula to do some examples so that you could see how we use this to calculate time. And these are some general things that you should already know. 60 seconds equals to 1 minute, 60 minutes equals to 1 hour, and 24 hours equal to 1 day. This you should already know. So I'm now going to use the difference in time formula to calculate some examples. Let's look at the first example. So you have to calculate the length of time. They give you the arrival time and the departure time. So the formula is the actual time of arrival subtract the actual time of departure. So arrival is equals to 06:43 a.m. and departure is equals to 03:39 a.m. Now remember, it's arrival subtract departure, so let's set this down. So it's going to be 06:43 subtract 03:39. So we're working with the minutes part first. So 39 from 43 is going to give me 04, and 3 from 6 is going to give me 03. Now this is not 03:04 a.m. or p.m. This is in hours and minutes, so it's 3 hours and 4 minutes. So the length of time for this journey, leaving at 3:39 a.m. and arriving at 6:43 a.m. is going to be 3 hours and 4 minutes. So this is how you set it down. You put the arrival and then you subtract the departure time from it. Let's look at another example. You have the arrival time being 11:18 a.m. and the departure time being 07:38 a.m. So arrival is 11:18 a.m. and departure is 07:38 a.m. Now the formula is arrival subtract departure, so let's set it down. It's 11:18 subtract 07:38. Now if you look at it, we cannot take 38 minutes from 18 minutes. So what we have to do, we have to take 1 from the hour. So if we take 1 from the hour, this becomes 10. But remember, an hour carries 60 minutes. So if we're taking 1 hour and putting it across here, then we have to add 60 minutes to our 18. So it's going to be 18 plus 60, which is going to give me 78 minutes. So 78 minutes subtract 38 minutes is going to give me 40 minutes here. And 10 hours subtract 7 hours is going to give me 3 hours. So the length of time taken for this journey, leaving at 7:38 a.m. and arriving at 11:18 a.m. is 3 hours and 40 minutes. Remember, when you're taking the hour and you're putting it across, it's 60 minutes you're taking. It's now 1, so you can't take 1. You have to take 60 and add it to the minutes that we have there. Let's look at our third example. So the arrival is 02:30 p.m. and the departure is 12:15. So this is 02:30 p.m. and the departure is 12:15. Now we're working with p.m. That means we're going in the afternoon session, right? So for the 02:30 p.m. we have to rewrite this in the 24-hour clock, and rewriting it, I'm going to get 14:30 hours. All right, so now what we're working with is the arrival time, which is 14:30 hours subtract 12:15. Well, this is in the afternoon, so it's going to be hours as well. Or let me take this out. So it's going to be 14:30 subtract 12:15. So 15 minutes from 30 minutes is going to give me 15 here, and 12 hours from 14 hours is going to give me 2 hours. So the length of time for this journey is 2 hours and 15 minutes. Remember when you were working with PM, the time, you would have to convert it to the 24-hour in order to get your answer. The fourth example you have here is the arrival time being 06:45 a.m. the next day, and the departure time is 9:12 p.m. Now, if you look up here, we have to convert our 9:12 p.m. into 24 hours, and that's going to give me 21:12 hours. So this person is leaving at 9:12 in the night, and they're arriving at 6:45 in the morning, the following morning. So the first thing we have to do is to find the length of time from 9:12 to 12 midnight. So to find that, you remember 12 midnight is now going to be 2400 hours, right? So it's going to be 2400 hours subtract 21:12. 12 from 00 can go, so you take 1 hour here, this becomes 23, and over here becomes 60. 12 from 60 is going to give me 48 minutes, and 21 from 23 is going to give me 2 hours. So from 9:12 in the night to 12 midnight is 2 hours and 48 minutes. And you know from 12 midnight to 6:45 in the morning is going to be 6 hours and 45 minutes. So the total time is equals to 2 hours and 48 minutes plus from 12 midnight to 6:45 is going to be 6 hours and 45 minutes. Now when we add 48 and 8 plus 5 is going to be 13, and 4 for 8 and 1 9, so you have a total of 93 minutes here. Remember, an hour is 60 minutes, so if we're going to take 1 hour from this and we put it up here, we subtract this, we're going to left with 33 minutes. So since you add 48 and 45, I'm going to get 93 minutes. I can't put 93 minutes here because 93 minutes is more than an hour. So we're going to extract the 1 hour and we're going to put the remaining minutes. And the remaining minutes here would be 33 minutes. And the 1 hour that we extract, we have to put it over here to add. So it's going to be 6 plus 2 plus 1. So 6 and 2 is 8 and 1 is 9. So the total time taken for this journey is going to be 9 hours and 33 minutes. This person is leaving at 9:12 in the night and they're arriving at 6:45 in the morning. So first thing you do is you calculate the time from 9:12 in the night to 12 midnight, and that's going to be 2 hours and 48 minutes. And then from 12 in the midnight to 6:45 is going to be 6 hours and 45 minutes. So when you add the two together, you're going to get 9 hours and 33 minutes. And that's the total time taken for this journey. The next topic we're going to look at is average speed. And speed is a quotient of distance divided by time. Now, average speed is equal to the distance traveled divided by the time taken. Let's say you're taking a bus from Georgetown and you're coming to the University of Guyana. Then the bus won't drive at one constant speed all the time. You know, because of the light and traffic and so on, it slows and then it accelerates and so on. So the average speed would be the distance traveled, that would be the distance from Georgetown to the university, divided by the time taken, that would be the time it takes from Georgetown to campus. So from this, we get the formula S is equals to D divided by T, where S is the average speed, D is the distance, and T is the time. Now, S is equals to D over T is the formula that we're going to use if we have to find the average speed. But using this formula, S is equals to D over T, we could transpose this formula to make either D the subject or make T the subject. So let's do that first. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to try to make D the subject. So they're being divided here. So in order to move T, I have to multiply there. And what I do on that one side, I do the same here. So T and T goes out. So distance is equals to speed multiplied by time. So if you have a question and they're asking you to find the distance, then the formula you're going to use is d is equals to s multiplied by t. Using the same formula, s is equals to d over t. Let's now make t the subject. So again, we want to move t. It's being divided here, so I multiplied by t and I multiply here by t. This and this goes. So st is equals to d. I want t alone on one side, so I divide here by s and I divide here by s. This and this goes. So t is equals to d divided by s. This is the formula you're going to use if they want you to find the time. So when it comes to average speed, you have the average speed formula, which is s is equals to d divided by t, which is distance divided by time. You have the distance formula, which is d is equals to speed multiplied by time. And you have the time formula, which is t is equals to distance divided by speed, average speed. Now, based on the question that is given, you would know which one of the formula you would have to use to solve those questions. So let's look at some examples. These are the examples. Pause the video and copy the questions. The first example, a bullet takes 3 seconds to travel a distance of 1200 meters. Calculate the average speed of the bullet. Now from the question, we know we have to get speed, distance, and time. So I usually write SDT and we're going to put in what we were given. We were given the distance of 1200 meters and we were given the speed of 3 seconds. That means the time of 3 seconds. That means they want you to find the speed. So the formula we're going to use is S is equals to D over T. S is equals to the distance, which is 1200 meters, divided by the time, which is going to be 3 seconds. The speed is 3 into 1200 is going to give me 400 meters per second. So the bullet travels at 400 meters per second. The second example, a TriStar jet travels for 6 hours at an average speed of 650 kilometers per hour. What is the distance covered in that period? Now, in this one, we have to find the distance covered. And if you can recall from the beginning, the distance formula is equals to speed times time, right? So D is equals to the speed, which is 650 kilometers per hour, multiplied by the time, which is 6 hours. The distance is going to be 650 times 6, and that's going to give me 3,900 kilometers. So the distance covered by the TriStar jet is 3,900 kilometers. Our third example, what amount of time will a car take to travel 84 kilometers at an average speed of 48 kilometers per hour? Now in this one, they want you to find the time. So the formula we're going to use is T is equals to distance divided by speed. So T is equals to the distance, which is 84 km, divided by the speed, which is 48 kilometers per hour. Dividing the two, 84 divided by 48 is going to give me 1.75 hours. So the time the car would take is 1.75 hours, or if you want to convert it, well, which is not necessary, we could say 1 hour and 45 minutes, but 1.75 hours is what we're looking for. So a quick recap for this lesson. In this lesson, we looked at time and average speed. The first we looked at was the 12-hour clock and the 24-hour clock, and you should know that the 12-hour clock uses numbers from 1 to 12. The 24 hours go from 0 to 24. Both of them are divided in, the day is divided into 2 parts. you have midnight to midday, and for the 12 hour that's AM. For the 24 hours you use numbers from 0 to 12, and then you have from midday to midnight. For the 12 hours that's going to be PM, and for the 24 hours that's going to be from use numbers from 13 to 24. Time taken, or the journey, is equal to the time of arrival subtract the time of departure. We then look at average speed, where speed is equal to the quotient of the distance covered divided by the time taken. So the formula is speed is equal to distance divided by time. And then we went and transposed the formula to give you the distance formula, which is equals to speed multiplied by time, and the time formula, which is equals to the distance divided by the average speed.